Okay, guys, I want to do a personal project, so I thought I could just stream it and could just record it and upload. So this is more like my workflow for most of my architectural designs and work. So you could just follow along. So I'm going to start with Revit. This is where I do basically all my layouts I before I now go over to Cinema 4D, export it and work there. All right. So I'm going to do a bathroom layout, which I want to work on. So I'm going to start with a normal wall. Yeah. So I want it to be connected to level 2. Oh, by the way, so I'm just going to change this from 3,000 3 meters to 4 meters. So this is more like 4 millimeters. So I just change this and change it to meters. So this is 4 meters. And the reason why I want to have this 4 meters is because I want to have a high room, sort of. So this would help. So I'll go to my level 1, just create my floor. Then from here up to this place. So I can always change this back. Just want to do basic rectangular room. And this is going to help me with this. So I'm going to just look for a model that I created. Still remember. Okay. Doors. I created a door that I created a door one time, so I'm just keep missing this door. So new Revit, details. Not here. I think I'm lost here. So I would just. I think I'm just going to pick one. Okay, I think I use modern doors. Oh yeah, modern doors. Alright, so just check this online and created the family. So this will help me to know the scale that I'm going to use for this. Well, you can already see this shows that this is too much. The walls are too much, so I can just quickly. And by the way, I didn't put into consideration measurements for a typical bathroom. So what I'm going to do is just to eyeball this and see whatever stuff that I get. I think this is fine. So maybe this should be closed here. And switch this so it opens out. So the handle here opens it. Okay. So I have this, then I'm going to have a window somewhere here. I also have some windows that I created or that I downloaded, so I could just make use of those windows with your libraries and windows. So I will just take this windows here. So here I don't really do anything. All I just do is do the layout, take it over to Cinema 4D and finalize things. So I just want to have my basic things here to work with. Then the other models will be done in Revit. Okay, sorry, in Cinema 4D rather. So I'm going to take 2, is it not too big, or 1? So let's see. Let me just use 2. So I have this here. Okay, so I have this. So I could just quickly check this here, what I have right there. Okay, so this is fine. I like that. Okay, so I want to have I'm going to bring this somewhere here. I want to have a place where I'm going to have my baths. So this is going to be the bath area. So somewhere here is just a walkway where you're going to have a cabinet somewhere here to work with. So I'm just going to make this my area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this guy somewhere here where I want the bath area to be. So I'm going to use SL for split to split this line here and also here, so that I have two different sections. So I could just use my alignment to be sure. AL for align, hit tab. Okay, so okay, I think this is good. So what I think I can do here is possibly delete this and bring this guy, use align, and also maybe delete this to start off with. Align this to this so that is fine. So I can just create a floor here. So I think that's fine there. So the reason why I'm having this cut somewhere here is because I'm going to have a section for my wall, for my what's it called, my glass panel. So what I will do is let me quickly start creating the floors. So I'm going to go over to floor, just do a normal rectangular floor from here to this place, and for me to make this L, you could just bring this up to that place. 150 is fine. So I have that floor. So if I check this in 3D, so this one doesn't really have anything. So I'll just go over to this and create another floor here. And the reason is because I want to have different texture. So I already have the mindsets for that. So also 150 is fine. But then I want to bring this guy down. So I'm going to create a section view. Create a section view somewhere here, so that if I check, I can see the floor. Okay, so I'm going to, I want this floor to come down here. Okay, so I'm going to just slightly move this over here so that I can know where the window is. So this is where the window is. So I want the floor to flush down here. Okay, so I can bring this back. So I want the floor to come in. So if I select this floor, then I can just edit this element. So if I click on edit element, I already have this. So I can select this point and just bring this down a little bit, just to create more of a slope. Undo, sorry, select this, bring this -10. Thickness may slightly be inaccurate. Okay, -10 is too much, sorry. So let's say -0.2. Too much actually. -0.05. All right, I think that's fine. So that is slightly, so we have that. So I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'll select this and edit this. I use the same -0.05. So I have this. So now that I have this, the next thing is I need to attach this. So if I select this floor, I'm I can just bring this down for it to attach to the floor. So I have that. Okay, so this is just for us to, so I can now select this wall, go to attach top and base. So I want to attach the base to this floor, so I'll select this floor, it attaches to that. So I'll go to 3D view. If you notice that get attached to that section. So the reason why I have this is because this floor is intersecting with it, so I can just join this guy. So that solves that. So I have that slant. So let me check that again. Okay, so now that I have this, I need to, so I'll go and finish up that. Yeah, so I need to create this section here where I'm going to have a demarcation between this, so I can just model in place. So if I come here, model components in place, or I could just go over to massing, no component. So I'll do that in components. So I'll just do model in place and make it generic model. So I'm going to put that extrusion, but before then I'm going to select my plane, pick this work plane, pick a plane and select this plane. Yes, then I'm going to go an extrusion somewhere here, so rectangular extrusion. So we have this. So I'm going to click OK, then go to 3D and check what I've done. So I have this, so the extrusion might be too much. We just bring this down. So maybe we want this to be 0.15. Okay, 0.1. Okay, that's not bad. But there should be this where the glass panel will fit into. So I'll go back to this view and do another extrusion, but this is going to be a void extrusion. But then I'm going to pick a plane again and work on this surface. So I'm going to do a void extrusion somewhere here. I'm going to have the panel. So possibly we could bring this down a little bit because it's not going to be that thick. Should it get yeah, it should, it could. So maybe we should just bring this out a little bit here. So I have 0.00, so we just copy this. Control C and go over to this. I'm actually taking long with this guy, so I want to wrap this guy up. Paste this here, and that solves that. So I'm going to finish up. So if I check this in 3D, so this void is going down. I don't want this, so just bring this up and a little bit down. It's fine for me. It should just come down a little bit, not. So I now have this. Okay, so we have that. So this is where I'm going to have my glass panel. So I'm going over to 3D Cinema 4D rather. Sorry, I'm going over to Cinema 4D to put in every other thing that I need, and that will be it. So I'm just going to put off my roof or my ceiling here. So I'm going to finish up this and create a floor. I can actually use a floor to cover up. So I'll go to level 2, create a floor, and the floor will cover up everything here. So if I check this, so this covers everything, and that's pretty much everything that I need. So I'm taking this over to Cinema 4D. So I'm going to be in my 3D view and export this file. So I'll go to File, Export, FBX Export. So this is going to, I could just take this up to my C work file. Okay, so I have FBX exports. So I could just create a folder here. I keep saying kitchen, toilets, design. So that will be exported. So now over to Cinema 4D, I will just create a new project and import that file. So I'm going to come here, go to merge. Then I have my C drive, work file, exports, then toilet, design, toilet. That comes up. So I'm just going to click OK. So this comes over here. So about this, just delete this. It comes with Revit. So this is everything. So the reason why you have all this rubbish here is because I need to go and change my font. So if I come in, go over to font, bring this way down, and that solves that issue. So I have this everything that I have. So if I come to this ceiling, I can just start renaming this ceiling, and this is window. Then okay, so this is more like the toilet, so you can already see the slope here. So this is just partition, if I'm correct. So I just want to rename all these guys. So this is the door, so I can just hide the ceiling. So I have the partition. Okay, so I have everything. Everything is here. So let me start with this glass panel. So what I'm going to do is to start with a cube and go to the top view and bring this cube over here. So just scale this down a bit to fit into the hole. So you might need to clean up some things. Actually, definitely when it comes into this Cinema 4D, you have a lot of bad geometry. So what I would do is try to clean up this geometry first off to make room for any issue. So I'm just dissolving this MN. So this will help me in the end by the time I'm modeling and putting things on top of. So I can just quickly solo this and finish up. So I think I'm done with this and on solo. So I'm done with this, solo this guy also still. So let me just solo and MN to dissolve all these diagonal edges. Okay, so I have this evil man here. Okay, so I need to get rid of these guys, MN, and this also. So this also I have one here. Okay, so on solo, so we have that. We still have our slope. Okay, and this guy also solo it and dissolve so many things here. Okay, so where's my edge? So this is my edge, so I'm soloing this. Guys, I'm going to dissolve this. So this will help you in the end, and most people get tired of this, and by the time it's time for other things, then issues start arising. I think I have done something bad here. I have damaged my geometry, so I'm going to undo a lot of things here. Okay, so I'm back. So I'll start with this. I need this part. There's an edge here, so I'm going to get rid of this one. Get rid of this. So I'm sorry, I just have to do this right. So is this an edge? Don't think so. Okay, I'm almost lost. Amen, and all this to clear off all these guys. So just bear with me. I will and till I'm done with everything. So I'm still having issues. That's why I'm having this green line. So until I get rid of this, I will still keep having issues. So I think I'm done with this part. I only need to clean up this inner section. So I'm meant to clear this. Have I cleared something that ought not to be cleared? Okay, so I guess I am going to. I have done something bad here. So that's the thing with trying to clear up things in working between softwares, and you would have to start cleaning up things and till you miss a lot of things. So I think that section is done. This part is also done. So I have only done something bad here. So I should remodel this. So I'll just break this guy. I don't actually have to use loop cut, so I can just use this cut from here to here and do the same thing here from here to here. Okay, so I have this. I think I would have to move this point up. Move this up also. Okay, so why don't I get to have any edge here. Okay, so let's see edge. Okay, so I think I go to this. Okay, so I think I would have a problem here. So if I use loop cuts, I should have this solved. So I'm going to get rid of this later on. Okay, so I have this. So what I need to do now is to join these guys together. So I'm going to bring this up, select this edge and that edge. Then use my what's this bridge tool and bridge these guys together. So we have this. I'm going to bridge these guys here and bridge this here. So to solve this error, so I'm going to use my line cut tool. So join here to here, escape, and that's it. Then I'll go to this mode, MN, select this MN. Okay, so let's see this part. So I'm going to select this guy, also line cuts, join this to this, and go to edge mode, MN to dissolve. So in a situation you're trying to use MN is not dissolving, you can just melt that out. And then so melt, dissolve doesn't seem to work. So there we have this. Okay, I think I'm done with this. I can't waste my time on that. So we are going to bring this back, and also here solo that and get rid of so many lines. So I've wasted so much time in that. And do that, just this point. Oh god, fine, and do this, and we have this. Okay, solo that also, and then get rid of those annoying holding down shift to have a multiple selection. Okay, so we are fine. Okay, just remember this. Okay, so we are good, and just remaining. This is where I actually want to work more on because it was distracting me to put this panel. So I'm just going to work on that and get rid of those annoying points. It can be very distracting. So I'll get rid of that point there. I know I won't need this point. This is not needed. This also is not needed. This is not needed. So by the time I'm done here and go up, you would see that everything will be a lot easier for me. Things will be a lot easier. So do this and that. Under here. Oh God, oh God, oh God. I've done bad things. So let me just solo this. Okay. I think I am good here. So we shouldn't have any problem going forward from here. Anyways, once we have any other problem, we can always go back. So I'll unsolo this and let's get back to the top view. So, and let's see that you will see that everything would have been fine. You can already see. So if I go to this new wall, you can see now I can place this. I already see where I want to place this. So that is the importance of making sure you solve all your problem beforehand. So I want to have two doors here, two glass panels. So one will get here just slightly. So I just want to move it along my X. So I'm going to hide this, come to this place and just move. So even without selecting this, so that is where this comes in handy.
Thank you for coming
So I
back to
just
my
want it
channel
to be a
once
little
again.
bit
This is
close.
Joseph from Jouleconcepts. Here I drop an
Then I'm
in-depth
going to
tutorial about
convert
how
this
to
to editable
beautifully resolve
format
construction
and bring
issues, things you would never have thought of. So please, if you're
L,
new to this channel, do subscribe for more
bring it here.
tutorials. Also
So I
click the
have
bell
this.
icon in order to be notified
Okay.
every time I drop a new tutorial.
So this becomes Y now. So we can just bring this here. Okay. So we have that. And if I go to my perspective view, again, I need to bring this down. Okay. So we have. So I think I will just use the axis center. Shift C, axis center, and I want to bring it down Y and also along X, positive X. So we are here. Okay, so we can bring this back up. So possibly maybe somewhere here. So I'm just switching between views. Yeah, so this should be centered. Just a little bit, let it rest here. Making sure only my Y is active, so I can just click it. Camera won't see this anyway, so bring this, go back to perspective view. So I want this on my partition soloed so that I can see what I'm doing. I don't want anything distracting. Then also I think I'll unsolo first and make sure I bring this up to this view. So if I bring my ceiling back on and I put it into X-ray format, so I can take this, scale this up until it just intersects. Okay, so this is it here. So maybe I'll bring this down just somewhere there. So now that I'm done, I can now solo these two guys. Alright, so I'm going to take this, scale this backwards a little bit. Just want to have two of these before I have, okay, just have one. And duplicate that, move it to this side here. So bring up only my X. And the usefulness, the reason why this is useful is sometimes this axis will be somewhere very far and you want to get close for you to see this object. So that's where you can just do that. So I'll bring this over here. Then I can scale this backward. So just bring this scale. So I want to scale along X. So I'm going to get rid of that, scale this along X. So I'm very sure that as I'm doing this, it does not affect the other end because I'm actually using scale and I'm only scaling along the X. So if I check, everything is fine. So we don't get to have any problem here. So this becomes the glass panel. Copy and paste this here. So this glass panel, I'm going to have more like what is going to hold this guy on this edges here. So I could just make use of box also to do that. So just bring this up, scale this down a bunch. Okay, so I'm going to bring this down even more and let it interact with this. Okay, so I think this is fine. Then I want to have a curvature to this. So what I can do is just convert this and KL for loop cuts. I want to have one at the center and increase. So maybe one here and one here. So if I go to this view, I think that's the right view. Okay, so we can start working our way up. So we go to make sure selected visible only is not active. So I'm going to bring these guys, accept this, move them backwards a little bit, then this and this, move them also backwards. Then push these guys inwards. So we have this. So we could just move these two guys there, scale them. Okay, so we have that. And if we go to edge mode, okay, so what I want to do now is just to create a form of rounding to this edge. So I'm going to MS for bevel. So I'm just going to bevel this a little bit and just, I don't really need to add anything, so it's going to be so far. Okay, so we have this at the top here. So this guy I'm going to duplicate and bring over here. then rotate this 180, then move it out. So that solves that section. And then I think the design should be that this guy should slide. Okay, so what can I do? So that means this doesn't really need any knob. And what we can do is to go to the top view, look at the first panel. So we want to move along Z. Alright, so Z is fine. So this one, we are going to deactivate everything only except Z, bring this down somewhere here, and take this other one also. Want to move it up along Z, and let us have just a little bit of this interruption. Hope we get what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to use scale. I want to scale along X. Okay, so that settles that, and move everything, reset everything. So we have this. Okay, so what we can just do is to have a handle somewhere here. So we're going to make use of what kind of handle should we have? Let's look at rectangle, cylindrical handle. So we'll do this up here. Hope this is not too much. So I think it should be fine. Okay, don't need too many subdivisions here. So I'm going to duplicate this and rotate along Z, and not that. So we'll reduce this a little bit. Okay, so that's fine. We'll have one here. And also duplicate this and reduce this. Bring this over and increase this radius. Okay, for the handle. And possibly maybe this should come out. Not that. This one should come out. So this is fine. So what I feel I can do is just to come over to this and add a little bit of rounding to the cap. So the radius should be 0.05, sort of, maybe 2. Okay, so here we can bring this to 15. No, I think 20 should be fine. I think that is okay. Okay. So I'm going to duplicate these two guys and bring them down. Okay, so this is fine. So we use this to drag this sideways. Okay. So let me start naming this guy. So silver panel hold. So I'm putting this so I can know the color to give to this guy. So I think this should be gold. Should it be gold? So I think everything should be consistent. So we're going to have white background. Okay. I think it should be the same color. What do you think? So let's try gold. Copy. So I want everything to be gold. Okay, glass panel, everything is fine. So we can just bring all this to door glass. So just including this panel, everything. Alt G. Part door. So we have that. Then let's unsolo everything. So we have all this set. Okay. So this is fine. The next thing, maybe we could just let's do other things and quit wasting time on this guy. So let's just come here and populate this side here. I think I'm wasting time on things. Don't you think so? So I'm going to come here, bring in my guy character. I use this to scale my object, so this is fine here. Okay, so that means this should come down up to this level. So this is just more like a top rest for him to do any other thing he needs to do. Okay, so I think I will just bring this over here. This a little bit. One is not too much. Okay, so let's try 0.5 and 3 is fine. And also bring this to 20, 10. Okay. So this is fine. Okay, so we have that. So we could also bring this down here, just duplicate that and so maybe we could just bring this even much lower. Okay, so just need to have a little bit of, I don't want this to get down, so I'm just going to look at this. And bring this a little bit inwards. So one should be here. Okay, so we have that. I think I'm thinking this is too much. Okay, so I have that and duplicate that just a little bit, just enough to know that something is there. Oh, I could just undo and put this in a cloner and bring the cloner down, way down and along the Z. So I come in here. So maybe this would be, since this is good, and add two more. So that should solve that. So we can just bring this out a little bit. Okay, so we're good with that. So the next thing is to create a glass. So I'm just going to basically make use of everything here that I need, like the glass, every other thing that I need. So make use of a rectangle box rather for everything. So I think I am going to hide this for a moment, and also this. So maybe this should be 2.5 or 1.5. I think 0.5 should do. Okay, so bring this very close. And the height, are you sure this is fine? Okay, so bring this over here. Okay, so we have this. So we need to have a form of hold for this. So I think we'll just copy this over here. So rotate this guy here. Then maybe here. Maybe I should probably scale this. I feel this is too much. So bring this up. This looks fine, in my own opinion. So can bring this over here, holding this here, and another one holding this here. Okay, so let's try and do a board.